All right, y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm King Tyson. Don't forget to like and subscribe like I always tell y'all to do in the beginning or the end of my videos. Check it out. Before we start, write me at KingTyson713 at yahoo.com if you want my advice about something, you want my opinion about something. Write me, KingTyson713 at yahoo.com. Also, if you like this content, please go to the video tab section of this YouTube channel. Click on the video that you like. Watch it, give me some feedback in the comments. I really appreciate that. So look, I've been getting a couple of emails from a few brothers, man, that want me to talk about, well, the video that I did, how a trade job saved my life, right? And one particular brother, Joshua Miller, just sent me an email. Shout out to you, brother, asking me to go into more details about how I get started in the trade business, and like how did I get started in all the steps that I took, right? So, and he's not the only one. A couple of brothers been hitting me up too, but I wanted to do this video, right? this is the way I did it, you know what I mean? But before I started, I got to tell y'all the beginning, and give you the cold context, right? So when I was younger, man, I kind of got into some trouble, right? I was going to school. I even went to college, man, for a little bit, but I always was like, I didn't have, my daddy wasn't around like that, and it was just me and my mom. We struggled a lot. I got family like my aunts and stuff like that who, they played a pivotal role in my life, my grandmother and stuff like that. But as young black males, when we start becoming teenagers, without a lot of times, without a father in your life, it's easy for you to get caught up in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Because you're looking for a father figure or a big brother, especially if you don't have no older brothers. You're looking for that role, and some of us just get into the street life. And I kind of got into the street life just a short amount of time, not a long time. I got into some trouble, right? And I got into some trouble when I was about 20 years old, and I was kind of going to college. Well, I was going to junior college, right? And my mom was like, listen, you got into some trouble. I didn't catch a felony. I caught a misdemeanor A, right? I caught a pistol case, right? And so, and this was back in the day. This was probably 22 years ago, right? So my mom was like, listen, hey, you got this record. It's gonna be hard for you to get a job in a corporate business, in a corporate field, because what I was going to school for was I wanted to go to school for architect, right? I wanted to be an architect or engineer, and I could draw really well, but I'm not good at math. I suck at math. Like I like school, but I sucked at math. Like I cannot do math to save my life. If you give me some algebra problems, y'all, I'm telling you, y'all gonna, man, hey, I just can't do math. Like I just can't do it. But anyway, so I didn't do architect. I want to be engineer, same thing. There's a lot of math in it. You got trigonometry, calculus. If I could barely get through basic algebra, there's no way that I'm going to be an engineer. So I said, okay, all right, I can't do that. So I started wanting to do graphic design. You know what I mean? I said, you know what, I can draw. Computers really start coming up and stuff like that, and people designing websites and stuff like that. So I want to do graphic design. But when I ended up getting into trouble, that pretty much knocked that out. My mom was like, listen, you got to do something. And if it comes down between employer choosing you that's already black, because when you black, you already know what you're up against, as far as when it comes to prejudice. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's just keep it real. I'm not a brother that's gonna come on here and start blaming the man for everything, but I do realize there's racism and prejudice, especially in the work field. They don't come out and just say what it is, but if you black and you in the work field, you know how it is when you experience prejudice and racism. You know what I'm saying? But the racism in the work field is not always it's not always out directly in your face. It's more like, it's kind of behind the scenes where, you might have another race might get better as far as better privileges than you, or they get paid more than you, and y'all on the same level, and you don't even know until you hear them talking and they bragging about the money they making. You like, whoa, what? I know more than them. You know what I'm saying? They getting paid that because of skin color. I'm just keeping it real. Even in this trade business, it happens a lot. And I'm gonna talk more into that. But anyway, so I'm gonna say, hey, look, you need to get you a trade, because if it comes down to you and somebody else, and it's a person that don't have a record and you got a record, you already black, they probably gonna go with the other person. So she was like, you need to try to don't worry about anything corporate or whatever, office job or whatever. Like, hey, look, try to you need to try to pick a trade. Now, I always was kind of good with my hands, like far as putting stuff together, but I wasn't banking on trying to do no trade. I'm like, man, a trade. I'm like, man, I don't know, man. Like, but mom was like, look, you need to just try something. She was like, hey, look, try either HVAC, which is dealing with air conditioning, be a plumber or be a electrician. I said, you know what? I'll just pick HVAC. So what I did was I ended up enrolling. Now, back in the day, this is 22 years ago, right? So I ended up enrolling myself into a junior college again. I stopped doing graphic design, and I did the community college for HVAC. Now, back in the days, you had to kind of go to school for HVAC. You had to do a 2-year program and get you a certificate or something like that. And let me say this, when you go to school, when you come out, everybody says the same thing. You don't know shit. You ace all the schoolwork, and all the schoolwork has nothing to do with anything academically, nothing. Everything is hands-on, dealing with just HVAC only, right? So you don't have to worry about, you got to do any math, science, history, geography, whatever, English. You ain't have to worry about none of that. It's just strictly, all classes are strictly dealing with HVAC, right? So I did that for 2 years. I was working at a warehouse job. I was doing warehouse work, unloading trucks and shit like that, manual labor work or whatnot, right? I was doing that, and I was going to school at nighttime. So I finished, got my certificate. Now, this is the thing. If you go the HVAC route, you got to get an EPA card. EPA card is just saying that, hey, you can purchase Freon. Like if a company hires you, you got your EPA card that says, hey, you can purchase Freon, because you can't just go into a supply house and go say, I want to buy some Freon, to add to this unit or whatever. You have to have an EPA card to show proof that you actually got some training and understanding what refrigerant is, the dangers and everything like that, right? So, but you get all this when you go into school. Nowadays, that's when I had to go back. I had to go 2-year programs back then. Nowadays, they got 3-month programs, 6-month programs. It ain't like how it used to be back in the day, right? So you could go get your HVAC. You go to HVAC school for 3 months, 6 months, the most. I wouldn't even do no more than that. When I came out of school, now listen, when you get your training, when you get so you gotta go. Don't just think that you can say, I'm gonna just pick this, and then I'm gonna just freelance. I'm gonna just freeball it and just get out there and just apply for jobs. No, you want to say that you want to do some kind of schooling. That way you can, because while you going to school, you get your EPA card. You know what I'm saying? And you can get your EPA card without going to school, but I recommend you do some kind of training. So when you go look for a job and they call you in for an interview, you can say, hey, listen, I just came out of this school. So the employers can be like, you know what? Hey, okay, he's taking it serious because he kind of got some training on it. Now, let me say this. When you come out of school, you ain't gonna know shit. You ain't gonna know a goddamn thing. But the school training is just saying that, hey, I'm taking it serious. I enrolled and got a couple of classes. I got a certificate. I'm ready to do HVAC. Now, this is the route that I took, y'all. So when I got my certificate, I got my EPA card. it just so happened from the warehouse job, I end up becoming a maintenance guy. A lot of guys that come from HVAC school, you could apply for a maintenance job. Now, a maintenance job, you don't know, maintenance job is like, you can work at department stores like I did. You can work at a department store. You can work at a different facilities. This is commercial. You got commercial. So let me say this, y'all. Let me break down HVAC real quick. You got 3 routes. You got commercial, which is like commercial offices, stores, stuff like that. That's commercial customers, right? Residential is when you dealing with people at their houses, right? And you got industrial. Industrial is when you could do HVAC and industrial, where you working at chemical plants, you know. So those are the 3 under the HVAC umbrella that you can go into when you're dealing with HVAC. Now, I never did like residential because I never did like going in people's attics, y'all. People got nasty houses. People, you go in people's attics, people got rats and shit like that. It's super, super hot in the attic. You get temperatures up to 130 degrees in an attic. You be sweating, you know what I'm saying? I just never did like residential, just me personally. Now, residential is good when you're doing side work. You know, you're doing side work on, you know, and that's another thing about getting a trade is when you do a trade, whether you could do HVAC, plumbing, or electrician, people need this stuff done at their own home so you can make money on the side. This is why that's another plus thing about doing a trade is you could do side work. So you could work for a company and then you could also on the weekends or at nighttime or whatever, do side work and get your money that way. So you get money 2 ways. Or if you want to get all your training in, work for a company for a couple years, get like I said, get the training, and try to get your own license. That way you could start your own business. You could go that route too. It just depends on what you want to do in this field when it comes to having a trade. So I ended up taking a commercial route because I was like, man, I don't want to deal with no addicts like that. Let me take the commercial route. So I took the commercial route. I ended up becoming a maintenance man. And when you do maintenance, you can do different things on the maintenance. You can, you'll be repairing faucets. You know, you might, what you might do? You might do electrical balances like the light bulbs. You might change light bulbs. You might change the electrical balance that powers up the light bulbs. You know, you might just do basic maintenance stuff. You might work on things in the building, just maintenance. You just do basic maintenance stuff, right? That's how I started off when I came out. I got the job in that because they seen I had the HVAC experience. Well, not HVAC experience, but the HVAC schooling. So I said, okay, you'll be a maintenance man. So I had to learn the maintenance stuff and stuff like that. Also, when you do a maintenance, you could be changing filters and belts. Normally, a lot of times people start off coming out of school is on the HVAC side of the game. You'll be changing belts because each AC unit, a lot of times they got belts. They got, you know, some of them have direct drive, but you got to get deep into HVAC to understand what I'm talking about. This is somebody that I'm talking to people that's totally green. They got belts. Some of the blower motors have a belt, right? So as a maintenance guy, you go to these AC units and you change the belts every 3 months, 6 months, whatever, or you change the filters every 3 months or every month or something like that, right? That's just maintenance work. You don't work on the AC unit. You just change the belts and you change the filters. That's it. Easy work. So that's the first thing I did. I applied for a maintenance job. It's easier for me to get a maintenance job. Well, it'd be easier for you to get a maintenance job versus you applying for a service tech. Now, service tech is somebody who knows air conditioning. You don't want to apply for that yet. You want to just apply for a maintenance job or you apply for a helper. You know, they got jobs as a helper. I suggest you do that route. Apply for a maintenance job or a helper. Then you start learning the tips of the field by being a helper. Because then you start working with a seasoned guy who can show you the ropes. You know, you start learning from him how to use your torch set, how to replace units, you know, how to repair units. You learn this stuff by being a helper, by being a maintenance guy, watching a service tech do his job. These are things you do when you come out of school. So you don't want to jump in and say, I'm a full-fledged service tech. No, because when you go that route, a lot of companies in this business, in the trade business, they already want somebody who know what they're doing. They don't want to really train nobody. So if you come out the door and talk about you a service tech, they're going to put you to the test. And you're gonna come out there thinking you don't came from school, you know something, you don't know shit. You're gonna get fired, I'm telling you. Or you gonna get passed up. I'm telling you. You don't want to do that. Get the experience being a helper. Get that helper experience. Learn that shit first. When you learn all that and you start getting your tools together and all that shit, the equipment that you need, and then finally, when you feel like after about a couple of years, a year or two, you start getting your experience, then you apply for a service tech. Now you can say, hey, I got 2 years experience being a helper in the field. Then they ready to hire you on as a service tech. But take the time that you need. Now, when you start out being a helper in maintenance, it's above minimum wage. You know, I don't know the range different from state to state, but it's decent. You know, it's okay. You know, when you start out being. Now, when I started out being a helper back in the day, y'all, I was making $12 an hour, $13 an hour. This was 22 years ago. Helpers now, I know just in the state of Texas, because that's where I'm at. The state of Texas now, helpers or maintenance guys, they get about $18 to $20 an hour. That's not bad, y'all, if you just coming in the game. That's not bad at all, coming in the game. When I came in the game, y'all, I was making $12 an hour 22 years ago. You know what I'm saying? But coming in the game making $18 to $20 an hour, that's decent. You know what I'm saying? It's enough to, you know, pay your bills. The next couple of years, once you get your experience in, then you become a full-fledged service tech. Then you get bumped up. You start getting bumped up to $25 an hour. You know, you start moving up. Then and then the field of a trade, y'all, you will get a bump up raise within a year, and you'll make $1, $2 more, $3 more a bump. You get bumped up pretty good in the trade, you know. Also, I want to tell y'all this: if you don't want to go that route, you can go the union route. The union route, you can go that route. You can go the union route. The union route, you could be a plumber, like I said, HVAC or electrician. You could try to apply for to apply for the union. Now, you got to take a aptitude test to get into the union. If you pass that test, you do an interview. If they like you, they will send you to school themselves. They will pay for you to go to school, and you'll work for them under a contract. And the thing with the union is you'll go to school 2 nights a week for about 5 years. Now, I know you're thinking, damn, man, 5 years is a long time. Yes, but you work for them and they send you to school. All that's paid by them, you know. And the union is good because when you finish that 5-year school, when you done in 5 years or the couple of years, normally it's 5 years in HVAC. I don't know how long it is in plumbing or electrician, but an HVAC, I do know in the state of Texas, 5 years. When you turn out of school, man, you gonna make $30 plus an hour within 5 years, easily. You know, I recommend people doing that. I would recommend you do that. Now, the thing about the union is, when you come out of school, you'll make the union scale of pay, which is good scale. But at the same time, when you work for the union, if the union goes on a strike, you got to go on a strike as well. So you might be out of work. So when you work the union, you got to make sure you got some money saved up, because it might be a time you might have to go on a strike and you can't work, you know. So, and you got to pay union dues and stuff like that per out your check each payment. But it's still worth it if you want to go that route. I didn't do the union route. I should have did, but I didn't know at the time. I had already started being a service tech by the time I found out the union route. When I found out the union route, for me to go backwards again, I just said it ain't worth it. But I recommend if somebody want to go that route, you can go that route too. And union route is not, like I said, it's not just for HVAC. You could do it for plumbing, or you could do it for electrician, right? So once I became a service tech, y'all, I got my experience. I became a service tech. I worked for one company as a full-fledged service tech. I did it for 6 months. I didn't really like that company. It was a lot of backstabbing going on. We worked a lot of hours. We worked a lot of hours. I made a lot of money at that company because I was working, and that's nothing in the HVAC field. The HVAC field, the summertime, you're going to be running. You're going to be working. You're going to be getting 60, 70 hours a week easily working HVAC in the summertime. That's your bread and butter right there in the summertime. So so I'm gonna tell you now, you starting off and you're doing HVAC and you're a service tech, hey, start making all your money, saving up a little money, because in the wintertime it slows up. You know, it slows down a little bit in the wintertime because people don't really burn AC like that. People start using heat. They don't really use heater down here in Texas. Now, if you go to another state up north, they're gonna use the heater. So you're probably having work in the wintertime. It's just different, you know. But summertime is gonna be your bread and butter, right? Because everybody needs AC. But anyway, that's the route I took, y'all. I suggest that if you want to be a plumber, plumbers are in high demand, y'all. Plumbers have a bad stigma about them because people associate being a plumber as that you got to work on toilets. Y'all, that is not true, y'all. When you're a plumber for a commercial, if you're on the commercial side being a plumber, you do all kind of things as a plumber. You work on underground pipes, PVC pipes, you work on backflow preventers in the riser rooms. You do all kind of things. You don't just do toilets. And even if you do a toilet, y'all, like I told y'all, you ain't touching the toilet. Like I said in my previous videos, if you're a plumber, you got a snake machine, put your gloves on, put the snake machine inside the fucking toilet. You ain't got to touch shit. You turn the snake on, it unclogs your shit. You get out, you're done. You ain't got to clean people's shit up. You ain't got to do none of that shit, y'all. I'm telling you. People clean their own shit up. That ain't your job. That's a cleaning person job to do that. You come to unclog it and you out. That's just, I suggest people get into plumbers. Brothers, if you're watching this, I suggest brothers do start being a plumber. Plumbers make a lot of money, y'all. They make just as much money as HVAC technicians or electricians. They make a lot of money, and you really ain't working that damn hard, man. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. Electrician route, same thing with electrician. I didn't want to be an electrician, y'all, because I didn't want to climb light poles and shit like that. Nowadays, you don't really have to climb light poles. They got the lifts on the back of your trucks that you just drive yourself up there if you want to do that. Electrician work is cool too, y'all. You know, if you want to do that. I'm telling y'all, and also too, a thing about being in a trade, let's just say like I did, I made a mistake when I was younger, you know what I'm saying, got into a little trouble. If you try to work for a corporate job, you know, or office job, they tend to use your background against you. You know, they want somebody clean cut, no background a lot of the times, right? Unless you know somebody that can put you in the door. But a lot of the times they want somebody clean cut. When you work in a trade job, if my brothers, you got yourself in trouble, you know, you went to jail, whatever, you went to prison, whatever, let some time go by, a couple of years go by, whatever, a year or so go by, apply for an HVAC job. I mean, I'm not HVAC job, not just an HVAC job, but a trade job. They don't trip. Now, I think if you go the union route, I think if you got certain things on your background, they might not pick you up. You might got to check that out. But for the most part, if you don't go the union route, if you have something on your background, long as you're willing to work, people will take a chance. The employers will take a chance. You talk to them, hey, listen, when I was young, I made a mistake. I'm really, I'm a good worker, willing to work. Y'all, they will take you on. You can have a record and get into the trade. That's what I tell my brothers. You get yourself caught up in the system, and you trying to look for a job, look for work that's gonna pay you good money. You ain't gotta go back to doing the shit you was doing to when you got in trouble and shit like that. A lot of time us brothers, when we younger, we try to, and that's what I did. I tried to do some stuff to make me some money on the side, go on the street route. Y'all, it ain't worth it. I'm telling you, the money you chasing on the street side of it, the fast money, it don't pan out all of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get yourself caught up, then you lose out. You got to pay lawyer fees. You go to jail. You broke. You come back out. You ain't got shit. You could have been taking that time to hit a lick. You could be, getting your trade and making plenty money. Plenty of money. So this is why I said that's a good thing. Also, too, y'all, like me, I done grew my hair out, shit like that. Long as you could grow your hair out, they don't trip on you, you know what I'm saying? Long as you keep it together, it's, and then also, too, Cause a corporate job, they might frown upon you coming the door with, they can't discriminate against you up front, but they might say, this guy got hair, he got braids, he got dreads or whatever. They might look at you a certain type of way. When you go into a trade job, they don't really care. Long as you keep it neat, if you got long hair, keep it neat. And they see you willing to work there, they gonna hire you. Also too, like I said, you start off pretty decent. The longer you get in it, the more you can make money off of. You can make money in it. Also too, if and this is gonna be a long video, y'all, because I got to get everything out. So also too, if you don't like this particular job, y'all, whatever you work at in the trade field, you can go to another company easily. You could go to the competitors. They'll hire you on because they know you got experience at the job that you've been working at. They say, "Oh, you a competitor of you worked at a competitor. Let me hire you on. You know what you're doing." Also too, if you lose your job, when you have a trade, it don't take long for you to find another job because the trade jobs are high demand. A lot of times these trade jobs, computers can't do this. Robots can't do this. These jobs are stuff that humans can do only, for the time being. That's why you got to take advantage of it. I'm trying to think of what else, y'all. I recommend brothers get a trade. If you don't want to go college, if you don't want to go to college, you want to go the school route, man, I say get a trade. The trade, when you do go to school, you get your training with the trade, is nothing academically you got to worry about. Everything that you go to school for in the trade is going to be what you're doing your trade for. I recommend to all my brothers. This is a long video, but if you watch it, I really appreciate it. If you watch this whole thing to the end, I really appreciate you. If you watch it, that means something touched you. If you haven't already started on it, you've been thinking about it, take that chance and do it. I'm glad I did it. It helped me provide for my family more ways than one. More ways than one. Even doing side work, and it gives you the opportunity if you want to start your own business. Brothers, if you want to start really having some money, let me say this: stop working a dead-end job. I say stop wasting time with that shit, man. Get you a trade. I promise you will not regret it. I promise you won't regret it. Get you a trade job. Listen to me, brothers. Get you a trade job. Also, I just remember this shit now. You see me, I'm in my work truck. When you work a trade job, HVAC, plumbing, or electrician, those three. Now there's plenty of trade jobs. You could be a truck driver. You could do sheet metal. You could do anything with a trade job. But I'm just talking about these three core essential. When I think about trade jobs, I'm thinking about these three of HVAC, plumbing, electrician. Because I'm talking about the trucks. You get a service truck. I'm in my service truck. I take my service truck home and park it. So that means I drive my service truck to work and I drive it home. So if I got to go to the store, I can go on the way home. I can go to the store, pick up, grocery shop or whatever, get something to eat, come straight home, from work. And I ain't burning my gas. On the weekends, I drive my car really on the weekends, or during the weekdays, I go pick my son up, but you save a lot of gas. You ain't driving your own personal vehicle, going to different jobs, different sites and stuff like that. You say you ain't putting mileage on your personal car, your personal vehicle, because you got the work truck. Now I'm not saying, because a lot of work trucks got a tracker in it. So you can't just go, I got a service truck, I'm finna go here, go there, do all kind of stuff. I'm finna go do. Nah, you can't do that, because a lot of these service trucks, they got trackers, so you can't get away with that shit. But your employer don't trip if you on the way home and you stop at the store or something like that. They don't trip off of that. You can't just go just straight get in the service truck and just drive it like it's your personal. Nah. But that's a good thing as well. But that's the route I took, man. Shout out to you, Joshua Miller, for making a suggestion for me to make this video. But this goes to you, Joshua Miller, and all the other brothers who was asking me questions about how did I get started in it and what to do. Y'all, I listened to my mom. I took the chance. At first I wasn't feeling it. I'm like, man, I don't want to do this, but I'm glad I did, because it saved my life, man, for real. Because I could have been out here still doing some dumb shit in the streets and get myself caught up, But I recommend all my brothers, if you don't go the school route, go get you a trade. You know, do some research on what you think you might want to do. Do the trade route. Take a couple of classes. If you got to get financial aid, apply for financial aid, or take a loan out. You pay the loan back on the school while you going to school. You know, you could do some. And now the classes are shorter. It's not like back in the day when I had to take 2 years. They shorter. They got it for 3 months and 6 months now. But y'all do that, man. I'm King Tyson. I just wanted to say these couple of things about the trade. Stop second guessing it. Go ahead and do it. You know, make your money. But anyway, I'm King Tyson. Peace and blessings. One love. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm out.